Jack was a police officer in the anti-drug unit, a man long accustomed to gunfire and danger. But he never expected that this nightmare would strike so suddenly. According to the plan, Jack's four-man team was to ambush a gang of Mexican drug traffickers. Weapons ready, mission clear. However, as their vehicle crossed the dusty borderlands, the ground suddenly shook. Dozens of gunmen emerged as if from the earth. Before they could react, the car was riddled with bullets. Glass shattered. Screams mixed with the thick stench of gunpowder. In that life or death moment, Jack dove into the trunk, holding his breath amid the hail of bullets. But the criminals weren't stupid. They noticed someone was missing. When the trunk lid flew open, Jack greeted them with a violent burst of gunfire. The attackers panicked. He rolled out of the car, firing while taking cover behind twisted metal. They outnumbered him several times over. The situation seemed hopeless. Just as everything seemed about to collapse, Jack spotted leaking gasoline beneath the car. He pulled the trigger, flames erupted, wiping out most of the attackers. Seizing the moment, Jack counterattacked and finished off the survivors. He survived, though badly wounded. Even so, the mission wasn't over. The boss was fleeing with a bag of cash. Jack caught him just before the US-Mexico border. But when he saw the bag stuffed with dollars, Jack realized the ambush couldn't have been random. There had to be a mole in the team, but he no longer cared who it was. Amid smoke and burning wreckage, Jack decided to leave everything behind and head into Mexico with the money. Along the way, he encountered a group of thugs, beating a small dog. Jack stepped in, intending to reason with them, but they attacked without hesitation. Big mistake. In minutes, Jack had taken them all down. He freed the dog, but it kept following him. From then on, man and dog traveled together. They crossed the scorching desert, until reaching a desolate little town. Parched with thirst, Jack found the locals strangely hostile. No one would sell him anything. Only an old bar called Anna's opened its doors. Anna smiled, but her eyes were sharp as knives. Jack had to pay $500, just for a small glass of water. As he pleaded and drank, the sun set and the town's last bus departed, leaving him with no options. Jack returned to the bar, placed several $1,000s on the table for warm water and a place to sleep. Outside, desert winds howled through the night, while inside, yellow lights illuminated a weary, yet alert face. A man stepping away from the world of law, into a land ruled only by survival instinct. Alone, Anna watched him with curiosity mixed with fear. Listen to me, stranger. This town isn't for tourists. Leave before it's too late. Her warning echoed beneath the dim yellow lights. But Jack was too exhausted to respond. After a long day, he collapsed onto the bed and fell asleep in seconds. Less than an hour later, he was shaken awake. Anna stood there in panic, holding his bag. When the light revealed stacks of cash inside, packed tightly together, she froze in shock. She screamed. Jack hadn't even had time to explain. Anna flung him and the bag outside. Cruel fate. At that moment, the thief girl from before was lurking nearby. Seeing the bag fall in front of her, she grabbed it and vanished into the night. Jack cursed and staggered after her. Footsteps echoed through the abandoned streets. After a few turns, he caught up. She dropped the bag and ran. But before Jack could grab it, he was surrounded. From the darkness, a group of burly men stepped out, holding iron rods and daggers. Strangers aren't welcome here. Jack stood still, ice cold as steel. He didn't want trouble. But when the bald man lunged, it took Jack 3 seconds to counter. One punch, one sweep. Then a throw that slammed him to the ground. The others rushed in, but Jack was a seasoned agent, a survivor of a brutal ambush. To him, these thugs were nothing but training. In seconds, they were all down. The thief seized the chance to snatch the bag and flee again. Jack turned and chased her. But distant gunshots made him stop. A police car rolled in. Out stepped the town's police chief. But he hadn't come to save anyone. He was protecting the gang. At the same time, the cartel boss appeared, cigar in hand. Jack knew resisting now meant death. He calmly said, "I'm just passing through. I don't want trouble." The boss stared for a moment, then laughed. He tossed the bag back, clearly unwilling to escalate things. Meanwhile, across the border, US police discovered the bodies of 3 ambushed agents. Tire tracks and shell casings showed. One man was still alive. His close friend decided to cross the border himself to search. Night fell. Jack had nowhere to sleep. He lay on a bench outside. Moonlight washed over his battered face. Suddenly, a cold blade pressed to his neck. Jack tilted his head slightly. "It's Anna. I just wanted to see if you were still alive," she whispered and withdrew the knife. They sat facing each other in the flickering light. For the first time, Anna told him everything. This town had once thrived, until a drug cartel took control. The police chief, once the people's protector, now bowed to criminals. He banned locals from talking to outsiders. Anna said she only wanted a shred of hope to escape this place. Before leaving, Anna looked at Jack sternly. "If you still want to live, catch the bus at 2 tomorrow afternoon. And never come back the next morning." The next day, while Jack was still asleep, a rope tightened around his ankle. The bag was gone. The thief had struck again. Jack climbed onto the rooftop, scanning the town. Then he saw her. A small figure clutching the bag, racing toward abandoned buildings on the desert's edge. Jack clenched his fists, only one thought in mind. He had to get it back at any cost. The girl kept running, until she reached a ruined street corner. Not a soul in sight. She panted and turned back, no one followed. She opened the bag. Sunlight flooded the stacks of cash, lighting up her face. Just then, a door burst open. Jack lunged out like a beast and slammed Lisa to the ground. They struggled. The bag flew into the middle of the street. Money scattered everywhere. Nearby townsfolk stared in shock. Rumors spread through town within minutes. A stranger carrying a fortune in cash. Jack knew trouble was just beginning. He helped Lisa up, breathing hard. "Go, I don't want to hurt you." Lisa looked at him with fear and gratitude mixed. Meanwhile, across town, the crime boss and police chief were drinking when the news arrived. They heard the American was carrying a suitcase of money. Nora sneered. "It's him. The cop who escaped the ambush." They exchanged looks and understood at once. Jack was the survivor. That money had to be his spoils. They couldn't let him leave town. The boss slammed the table. "Seal off the bus station." Jack still had no idea. He stopped at a small shop, handed over $200 for water. Before he could drink, a cold gun pressed to his back. "Hand over the bag," Jack sighed softly. He didn't turn, just flicked the gun's magazine. It clattered onto the ground. The thug bent down to pick it up. Jack spun like lightning and seized the weapon. He stripped out the bullets and tossed them aside, calmly saying, "If you don't want to die, run." But the thug screamed for backup. Jack narrowed his eyes. Trouble again. Minutes later, footsteps thundered closer. Two men reached him first. Jack didn't wait for gunfire. He struck first twice. 2 blows dropped them cold. He searched them quickly, finding ammo and a pistol. But before he could leave, Jack realized he was surrounded. A dozen gun barrels pointed at him. He said nothing. He inhaled and gunfire erupted. Jack moved like the wind, shooting while sliding past shattered walls. One by one, the thugs fell. From a rooftop, a sniper opened fire. The bullet ripped past Jack's ear. He rolled and tossed a stone to reflect light, exposing the shooter's position. Jack dropped him with a single shot. But the boss had heard. He roared into the radio to gather everyone. Take him alive at all costs. Before long, the town's only bus station turned into a battlefield. Gunfire echoed through dusty streets. Jack ran and shot, every attacker dropping. But they swarmed like moths to flame. A rocket round screamed past, exploding beside him. He dove aside just in time. Shrapnel tore into his shoulder, but he stood. He knew staying meant death. Jack sprinted toward the ticket counter. The last bus was gone. The terminal was empty, only him, gun smoke, and approaching footsteps. He tightened his grip on the gun. He scanned around. Fine if you want to play to the end. There was no choice. He kept fighting, while demanding the ticket seller for the next bus time. The thugs attacked again. The situation, Jack was cornered completely. "Tell me when's the next bus?" "I'm sorry," the clerk said. "There won't be another until tomorrow." Elsewhere, the police chief learned what happened. He no longer underestimated Jack. His order to the gang was clear. Either he dies, or you do. Back to Jack. He was utterly trapped. Because now, the whole town was hunting him. Running for his life was the only option. But in a place this cramped, there was nowhere to hide. Turning into an alley, he was attacked again. After a long fight, his strength faded. During the struggle, his bag fell. Lisa, clingy as ever, appeared again, grabbed the bag and ran. But she ran straight into a dead end. After dealing with his pursuers, Jack caught up. Seeing her try to climb the wall to escape, he urgently tried to stop her. That money is trouble. Whoever keeps it will be in danger. I'm living proof. But Lisa was desperate to leave town, so she refused to give up the bag. Just then, a thug appeared behind them. Seeing Lisa with the bag, he aimed to shoot her. In that split second, Jack lunged in to save her, but took 2 bullets in the process. The enemy tried to finish him off, when suddenly, Annie appeared and knocked the attacker unconscious. Anna risked herself again by sheltering him inside her bar, even though that meant defying the police chief. After she finished stopping the bleeding, the thugs somehow tracked them down. With frightening speed, it turned out the crime boss had captured Lisa. To save her own life, she revealed that Anna had hidden Jack at her bar. Seeing the boss about to attack Anna, Jack prepared to act, when suddenly a gun was pressed to his back. Thomas had followed the trail and arrived. Jack realized Thomas was his colleague. Thomas was loud and overconfident. He wanted to take Jack away, but the thugs refused. Thomas boldly declared, "I'm a senior Mexican agent, a government asset. If you criminals dare touch me, you'll be taking on the state itself. The government will send the army to wipe this town off the map. Behave yourselves." The gang actually panicked. They stepped aside obediently, letting Thomas take Jack away, though they escaped for now. Jack worried deeply about Anna's safety. Helping him had made her enemies of the police chief and the gangsters, but Thomas didn't care at all. Then another shock hit Jack. Thomas suddenly handed him over to police chief Nora. The truth came out. He was the mole, selling intel to the drug traffickers. No wonder Jack's four-man team had been ambushed first. Thomas volunteered to find Jack, not out of loyalty, but to silence him. After collecting his reward, he was tasked with delivering the cash from Nora to the traffickers. Jack was kicked unconscious. When he woke up, he found himself in prison. But Nora underestimated him. When the boss arrived to deal with Jack, the room was already empty. Jack had escaped through the window. He slipped into a car on the street. Not to flee, but to hunt Thomas down. Jack was going to avenge his 3 fallen partners. Thomas was gloating over the money, unaware disaster was closing in. Soon enough, he realized Jack was chasing him. Only then did he understand what it felt like to be hunted by death, heart pounding wildly. He floored the gas and fired backward, missing every shot in panic. Jack closed the distance. Without hesitation, he rammed Thomas's car. Both vehicles crashed, both men unconscious. Thomas woke first. He crawled out, trying to kill Jack before he woke. But Jack had vanished. Thomas panicked, searching everywhere. When he bent to look under the car, Jack suddenly appeared behind him. With no hope left, Thomas raised his hands and surrendered, handing over all his reward money and the boss's cash. But Jack was ruthless. He took the money and Thomas's life. At last, Jack avenged his fallen teammates. Yet, it wasn't over. Jack couldn't celebrate, knowing Nora and the boss would never spare Anna. Sure enough, while Jack hunted Thomas, Nora dragged Anna out to punish her. Her life hung by a thread. Because she had helped an outsider, she had to be made an example. The boss planned not only to burn down Anna's bar, but to execute her publicly. Before the crowd, the terrified townspeople dared not intervene. Just as the boss was about to fire, The crowd suddenly stirred. People rushed towards something in the distance. What was happening? Then it became clear. Jack had returned. He scattered Nora's money among the townspeople. Seeing his fortune divided, the police chief went berserk. He ordered the thugs to attack Jack, but many in the crowd were relatives of the gunmen. They hesitated. Soon everyone sided with Jack. The boss tried to slip through the crowd to stab Jack from behind. But Lisa suddenly tackled him. Jack rushed to free Anna. Even cornered, Nora refused to give up. He struck Jack down. As Nora tried to finish him, the rescued dog leapt at him. Jack seized the moment, grabbed Nora's gun, and fired a fatal shot. Jack staggered to Anna's side. Just when they thought it was over, Nora still had one last breath. Anna reacted instantly, delivering the final blow. A corrupt sheriff, who ruled for decades, was finally destroyed. Jack and Anna became heroes to the whole town. Jack chose not to leave, but to stay, using strength and love to restore peace and justice. The dark years under traffickers finally ended. Lisa no longer wished to leave. Jack and Anna realized their love for each other. They chose to live happily together. They chose to spend their lives together. Today's film ends here.